Hey, Josh Hansman here. I'm going to show you how we stain the floor. Tristan's just finishing up going around to the edges. We do the edges first. Wiped it all on, wiped it all off. And if you get a little bit on the baseboard, it doesn't matter because that's getting covered up with shoe strip at a later point after all the finish is done. So like I said, we already did all the borders. I always do borders first. Some people do middles first, but I like to do borders first. Using a buffer to put down the stain. This is just a carpet pad that's on the buffer. If you take a good look at it, this is actually called a Berber. It's all hook carpet, like it's got loops, so that way it doesn't fray out, like the little pieces of carpet don't pull off. Plus it holds the stain better, so it doesn't fling stain when you're buffing it on. So once you're done, the floor is clean and you don't have to come back and vac it. It also has a soft back, which is nice. This is a Bona drive plate. It's got like a real small spike on it. And what's nice about that is when you put this on there, it sticks to it, like Velcro. So that's a nice feature. That's one of the reasons I like this more than the other kind. I'll hand this over. So I'm going to show you how I put down the stain using a buffer. This is just a RS16. Just locks the drive in. Get the handle set up to a comfortable grip. I never like pouring stain directly on the floor, so I always put down a little batch of stain first. And it's nice if you pour it in a line rather than pouring a puddle. I'll show you why. You can actually take the buffer, and while working, it kind of tilt it up like that, like popping a wheelie, and you run right over it, it picks it all up, nice and clean. The idea is to try to keep that puddle in the center of the carpet pad. If it gets to the edges, then it'll start to fling, but you keep it in the middle, it won't. See, just popped it up enough to keep it all in the middle. Now everything's clean, it's not flinging anything anywhere. And then from there you can just buff. And it's nice to go wall to wall. That way it doesn't show you turns. Because if you stop right in the middle and then come back, then you can leave like a little tiny turn there. Even on the old floor, it'll sometimes show up. And that's all I do. Usually in a room this size, I might get 1 or 2 passes, and then I reload it back up. Come past your line a little bit, pour on your stain, don't pour directly on the floor. This is Bona stain. I feel comfortable with Bona stain. See, that's what happens if it gets too close to the edge. It'll start to fling like that. Which ain't a big deal. If it does, you can go back, pick it up. As long as you don't have a lot on the edge, then it won't keep flinging. It'll go back to the middle and you'll be fine. So the next step in this is a lot of people like to come back and buff the stain off. I don't buff the stain off. This is it. I'm done. After I do this, I walk away. That's it. Finished. Let's see what we got here. Here's a rag. This is what was wiped down by hand. You can see it leaves a little bit. What's put down just now by the buffer, it leaves a little bit. So like, you can go back over and wipe it up better, but it's already wiped up enough in my mind that it's going to be fine. Let it sit overnight, dry, and you're good to go. Booyah! So when I get to the end of the room and my path is behind me, I'll leave that row where it is, jump over to the other side of the room and then run up to it. Doing it this way, I never have to walk in the stain, because I try not to walk in the stain. And I try to leave my last pass, so it's two passes on the buffer, one up, one down, for my last row. And that way I don't have to walk in the stain. This one last row right here, I will pour a puddle because I am going to pick up the buffer. I'm not going to heel it on top of it. Keep it in the middle. Boom, done.